guys, it's Jess from Makeup by JessieG, and today I'm going to talk to you about a product that I have been using for about 2 months, maybe a little bit longer, and that is my Clarisonic Smart Profile device. I purchased this at Mecca Maxima. How much is it? Let me just check that. $299, and most places, however, this retails for $349. So Mecca Maxima actually seem to have the best deal on this, but if you are interested in checking this out, I would hunt for the best deal at the time. But just be careful, because there are a lot of places that do sell Clarisonics for what seems like such a good price, but they are fake. So just keep that in mind. I definitely wanted to make sure I was purchasing mine from a reputable dealer, and Mecca Maxima is definitely a reputable dealer. I just want to tell you like a little bit about why I purchased this, the results I've found, you know, everything like that, to let you know, because I wouldn't want to tell you to buy a product or not to buy a product, especially at something this expensive. I wouldn't want to give you my opinion on it and, you know, recommend it to you if I didn't think it was worth it, because this is an expensive product, and there are ongoing costs to it, so it's not just something that you can just spend the money outright and that's it, you never have to buy anything again. It is quite expensive, but for me it was definitely worth the money, and I absolutely love this thing. I use it all the time now, and I highly recommend it. So originally I purchased this because the acne on my face was just getting to a point that I was really self-conscious about it. My chin especially, I would normally have about at least 4 or 5 huge, like, they were kind of like the under the skin ones, but they were like huge red bumps, and I would have at least 4 or 5 just on my chin, and then some maybe on my forehead, and then some on my jawline as well, and that was just constant. If I had any less than 10, that would be like good for me. And obviously there's people out there with much worse acne than I had, but you know, it is something that I was very self-conscious about, and I have spent a ridiculous amount of money trying to correct and fix on masks, skincare, all these different types of things, and nothing has ever given me the results I really want. And whilst I don't expect anything like a miracle product to really get rid of everything forever and never have any problems, you know, I was looking for something to at least improve my skin, and this has definitely done that. And it has just been a lifesaver for me. There was some trial and error in using this, and I looked up so many videos on how to use it, what to do, like what was the correct way of using this, because I have heard you can very easily go wrong. So today I'm going to go into my review of this and how I use it, why I love it, you know, all those types of things. So yeah, as I said, I purchased this from Mecca Maxima for $299. Most places like Maya, David Jones sell it, that kind of places, but they do have it for $349. So I don't know if Mecca's got a deal with them, but it's a fair bit cheaper there. I have a whole heap of these brush heads, different ones. I've only so far tried out the one it came with, which is this, I think it's called like the Sonic or Dynamic face brush. It's the one that comes with the Smart Profile, but it's got a little chip in it, so it has a sensor on here that will tell you when the brush head has been, when you need to replace the brush head, whereas the standard brush heads don't come with that. However, I just found this one too rough on my face. I used this for about a week and my skin was all dry. I was getting worse acne, and I just did not, this one just did not work for me. So I switched to the Radiance brush head, which is the one I have on here at the moment. So this is the Radiance brush head. The bristles, it's a little bit like, it's not completely white anymore. I do wash it out with soap after each time I use it, but you know, I have been using it for about 2 months, so it's getting more towards the used side of things. I will have to replace it soon. It's a lot softer though. The bristles are just so much nicer on your face, nowhere near as rough compared to this one here. The bristles on this are just so much coarser. I don't know if you can see, but it just doesn't move through as, like, I don't know, it's just not as nice on your skin, and I just found it irritated my skin personally, so I'm not going to continue using this one. I just had it here for the review purposes, so I might just get rid of this one now because I have no use for it and it's not hygienic to pass it on to someone now that I have used it. So I also have a whole bunch of other brush heads that I haven't tried with it yet. So the other one that comes with this is a body brush. I'll just show you here. This one, again, it's definitely the most coarse out of all of them. It does also have that chip in it, so you know when to replace the brush head. I have to say I don't use this that often, which is a bit of a shame because I purchased it because you could have that body function in it, which you can't with some of the other Clarisonics. So if you are wanting to use a body brush, if you have body acne, then you might have to purchase this, or I think there's a couple of others, I'm not too sure which ones they are, that are powerful enough to have a body brush attachment. Also, if you are in the US and maybe some other countries, I don't know exactly where to stock them, but they do have a pedicure set, and they also have a foundation brush that you can put on them. The pedicure set you either have to put on, I think there's an actual pedicure Clarisonic, or you can actually put it on the Smart Profile because it does have the like extra power to it, so it is strong enough to be able to use on the Clarisonic Smart Profile. But here in Australia they don't stock that, which was another reason I bought it, but I didn't realise until after I bought it that they didn't stock it here. So anyway, it doesn't really matter. I didn't really care that much, but yeah, that's just another thing to keep in mind. If you do suffer from really sensitive, delicate skin, then the other one that you could use, I use this one in the morning, is the Luxe Cashmere brush. This is the Luxe Cashmere brush here. As you can see, the bristles are much longer than a standard brush head. So these ones are super soft. It's actually quite wet because I used this morning. But they are super, super soft, and they just bend, and all you have to do, you don't press it into your skin, you just kind of brush it over, and as the brush oscillates, you don't want to push it in because it's not going to get into your pores and clear everything out. So you don't have to apply any pressure. This one's really nice, and it's meant to boost hydration levels as well, which I don't know if it really does, but if you do suffer from dry skin, that might be something to look into. Personally, I don't think this cleans my face well enough at night, but I really don't need that much of a cleanse in the morning, and I don't want to be using, you know, something that's deep cleaning my face that much all the time. So just something that's a little bit more softer and just gives me a light clean in the morning is all I'm really looking for. And this one just feels really nice on my skin and just wakes me up. The Luxe Cashmere brushes are $3 more expensive than the standard brush heads. Same with the dynamic face brush that comes with it with the chip. They're both $38. The standard brush heads are $35. There are plenty of places you can purchase them from. In Australia, you can purchase them from Sephora, Mecca, David Jones, Maya. You can also, there's a Clarisonic website in Australia as well that you can purchase them from, which I did purchase some of the brush heads from there, so you can definitely pick them up from there. The other one that I have picked up that I'm really excited to try, but I haven't tried yet, I definitely just want to, you know, use this brush head that I have for another month or so, then I'm going to give this one a go. This is the Acne brush head. The bristles are a tiny bit stiffer, but still really, really soft. I don't know if there's a huge difference. They feel a little bit more, yeah, a little bit more coarse, but I am interested to give that a go. But I do really like the Radiance brush head, and so far I'm really happy with that. And if I don't see results with this one, I think I'm just going to go back to the Radiance brush head because I really, really like this one, and this one has given me the results that I would like. Again, this is $35, and it might be something to consider if you do have acne that you would like to clear up, but just keep in mind that if it is a little bit more coarse than the Radiance brush head, that's why I did choose this one to use first, just because I wanted something that was really soft and gentle on my skin, because this does oscillate at, I think it's like 300 times a second. I can't remember exactly what it was, but it's ridiculously fast. So, you know, that oscillation with coarser bristles might be something that's just too much for your skin, so I was a little bit worried about that. So I did use the Radiance one first. So next time I will, once I have to replace that, I will give the Acne brush head a go, but yeah, for the time being I'm happy with the Radiance brush head. I also picked up the Sensitive brush head. Now the Sensitive brush head is the one that comes standard with most Clarisonics. So this is the Sensitive brush head here. I actually think the Radiance brush head is softer than this one if you are wanting something a little bit softer than this, but not as soft as the Luxe Cashmere. It is still soft, but I do know that people, when I was reading reviews, some people said it just wasn't soft enough. So I'm just not sure how I'd go with that. I do think I do want to give it a go, just because, you know, I've got it sitting here and I want to do a full review on comparison of all the brush heads. So that is something I would like to do for you. So once I'll, you know, slowly go through them all, but I'm a little bit, I just want to get, I'm doing a tryout of a whole different type of, like all different types of cleansing balms. So I don't want to do the two and then, you know, not know, is it the brush head that's causing sunscreen problem or is it the cleansing balm? So I just want to do one thing at a time. So I want to keep the brush head that I'm using consistent so that I know what results are from what. The other brush head that I purchased is the Delicate Skin brush head. This one is very, very soft. It is softer than the Radiance brush head. So this is the Delicate brush head here. Again, it's got the same size bristles. It's really, really soft. And just like all the others, really densely packed, but just so, so soft. I do really like this one. I think this one would be good for you if you do wear a lot of makeup, but you do have sensitive skin. You want to make sure that you get all your makeup off, so maybe the Luxe Cashmere brush just won't be enough to get everything off, out of your pores and off your skin. So this one might be better for you in terms of like just cleaning all the gunk out of your skin at night, because it is a little bit more deep cleaning, but it is still really, really, really gentle. I am actually really excited to try that one because that one I'm sure would feel really, really nice and soft on your skin. So I am really excited for that one. So Clarisonic also have a normal brush head, which I think is about the same coarseness as the dynamic face brush that comes with the Clarisonic Smart Profile. But that one I didn't even bother purchasing because so many people said that was just too rough for their skin, and I didn't think that one was going to work for me, and I'm really glad I didn't because, yeah, I think it's about the same coarseness as the dynamic face brush, and that just didn't work for me at all. Too coarse, so I just thought that would be a waste of money. I mean, $35, I don't really want to spend that money if I don't have to. So to attach the brush heads and detach them, so you just kind of lock it in and twist, and the cap will just come right off. It's easiest to do that when you do have the cap on. It's a lot harder to put the brush head put the brush head on and off when you don't have the cap on. It's just nice and easy to do it with that. So I use this personally every day, morning and night. At night, as I said, I'll use the Radiance brush head, and in the morning I will use the Luxe Cashmere brush head. I just get some hand soap after I've used it, or some shampoo or something, and just put a dollop in here and rinse it out to make sure it's clean. The cleanser that I mostly like to use this with, at night I'll use a cleansing balm, and there's, you know, whatever one works for you. There's lots of different ones out there. In the morning I really like to use the Tata Harper Purifying Cleanser. So this is just a pore minimizing daily wash. This one is really nice. It is quite expensive though. I mean, you can use it with whatever you'd like, just, you know, I wouldn't recommend anything abrasive, and Clarisonic doesn't recommend anything abrasive as well because it's just too much for your skin. There's a lot of speculation about whether or not this is a exfoliating brush head. So Clarisonic themselves say it's not exfoliating, but they also do say that it will remove the very, very, very top layer of dead skin, like only just a tiny bit. So to me that is kind of exfoliating, but I think what they're saying is it's, you know, if you're using a physical or chemical exfoliant, it's not going to replace that. If you just think, oh, I'll just use this instead, it's not going to do enough, but it will give you a slight exfoliation. Only very, very slight. The Clarisonic is unlike a lot of the mechanical face brushes because this one oscillates. You can't even, I'll just put here, you can't even see it moving. It doesn't actually spin. This is it on now. So you can't see it moving. It doesn't actually rotate, it oscillates. So instead of rotating around, it kind of just goes like this really quickly. That means the ones that rotate will give you more of an exfoliation, more of a physical exfoliation. So if you are worried about exfoliating your skin, then that is something to keep in mind. I know they're a lot cheaper, but quite often they're, you know, they're cheaper because they're different, and those kinds of brushes have been around for years, those kinds of manual exfoliating brushes. But that's what makes the Clarisonic different. It oscillates instead of rotating, and there are still some oscillating brushes in the market, but according to Clarisonic, their technology is patented. And I will show you another brush that I purchased a few years ago that I haven't used that says it oscillates, and I'll show you the differences between those. But to start off with, I'm going to turn this on. So this is speed number 1. There is 4 speeds and a turbo setting in this. Then speed number 2, 3, 4, and the turbo. So, and you can hear it beeping there. What you have to do with it is you have 20 seconds on your forehead and it'll beep. Then you go down your nose and your chin, it'll beep again. 20 seconds again for the nose and chin, and then you've got 10 seconds one cheek, it'll beep, 10 seconds other cheek, it'll beep. And as I said, I do that morning and night. I will use the turbo setting on my chin area just because that is where I get my acne. However, if you do have acne that's actually like coming out and is on the surface of your skin, I would probably just avoid putting it on those areas because you might spread the bacteria, and that's not that great. But if it's under the skin like mine was, you can go over it. I did anyway. Didn't cause any problems, but just be careful, I'd say, if you have got acne that's coming out of the surface, because it might, you know, break the acne. It might cause some troubles there, so I wouldn't recommend doing that. I tell you as well my week-to-week experience, because it did take a little bit of trial and error for me to figure out what works for my skin, because what works for me may not work. What works for me may not work for you. What works for you may not work for me, but I will tell you my experience because you might have similar skin to mine. I do have oily, acne-prone skin, and that's why I purchased this, to clear out the oil and help with my acne. So I'm just going to read my notes. I made weekly notes for me and daily. So in the first week I made pretty much daily notes, nearly daily, but from days 1 to 3, my skin didn't feel really different. It was a little bit softer, but I do exfoliate regularly anyway, so I didn't feel like a heap of exfoliation. If you don't normally exfoliate, then your skin will probably feel a lot softer than it normally does, but for me, I do exfoliate chemically anyway, so I use the Dr. Dennis Gross alpha beta skin peels, so I use them regularly and they help exfoliate my skin. On day 4, I noticed underneath here, this side especially, but all underneath here and just up here a bit, was really dry, and like my skin was peeling. It just was not nice at all. Then day 5, I started noticing a reduction of the redness on my chin from all my acne scars and everything that I've got there. It's just constantly red, and it has gone down definitely, and I noticed that from day 5 it started to reduce. There was also a reduction in the acne, really just a very slight reduction on my chin. However, I think from using the Smart Profile, this was when I realised Smart Profile Dynamic Brush Head was too vigorous, so extra acne on jawline. So I did have less acne on my chin, but extra acne along here. And I put that down to using the Dynamic Brush Head. On day 5, I switched to the Radiance Brush Head. Day 6, I had noticeably reduced redness and acne after just one day using the Radiance Brush Head. There was no new acne appearing. Underneath the jaw was still very dry, but improving, and I was just, you know, applying a lot of moisturizer and things like that to try and help it. But yeah, it was still noticeably dry. In week 2, my skin flared up for a few days with some bad acne. I used a cleansing balm to take off my makeup, then the Tata Harper's Purifying Cleanser with my Clarisonic. I started with that combo. I started seeing incredible results, and my skin had significantly less reduced redness and acne. My skin is super smooth and my makeup was sitting on really, really nicely. In week 3, I started to notice that my skin was just constantly really soft and supple and just feeling really, really nice. There's still a few pimples on my face and some red marks left from older pimples, but overall it was getting better. In week 4, I had very similar results. Still a couple of pimples, but a lot less than before, and less than week 3. In week 5, I had no new acne appearing, which was great. Still spots left on my skin, but you know, noticeably reduced acne. And again, the redness on my chin had very much dissipated. So we're currently in week 6 and, oh, week 6 or 7? I've lost track now. But I'm just seeing the same results. I don't have any new acne, but I do still have some spots here. Not that you can really see it through my makeup, but I do still have some spots, like marks along here from the acne that I did have on my face, but they are definitely dissipating and they're very, very much going down. My skin is very soft. It's not dry or flaky at all now. I'm not getting any new acne. It's just really clearing out my skin, and my skin feels really nice and clean afterwards. And I am just loving my Clarisonic. I would definitely recommend picking up a Clarisonic if you don't have one. You definitely don't need to buy the Smart Profile device. They have just the Clarisonic Mia, which is, I think, maybe $179. I'm not too sure, but it's a lot cheaper. And I mean, it's going to do about the same job. And I just love mine. I think it was definitely worth the purchase. I know they were big for like a few years ago, but I never picked one up. I didn't have the money to buy one back then. Now that I do have a bit more money and I can afford to buy one, I'm so glad I did pick it up. I mean, I ended up wasting so much money on masks, different, you know, cleansers, serums, treatments, whatever I could find to try and that had the word, you know, that tried to, you know, that did anything to improve acne, that, you know, claimed that it would improve acne. And some of them worked okay, some of them might work for a couple of weeks, some of them didn't work at all, and I just wasted so much money on, you know, trying to find those treatments, and it just wasn't worth it in the end. I know this is an expensive item, but for me, it was well worth the money because I don't have to spend so much now on all these different skincare items. I don't have to put, you know, all this money. It just wasted down the drain. And yeah, to me, this was a great purchase. Even though I know the brush heads, you know, you have to replace them every 2 to 4 months. I would probably recommend every 3 months, but that is an added expense. But for me, you know, $35 every few months, it's not the worst thing in the world when I considered how much I was spending before on all these treatments. It's a lot less. So yeah, I would highly recommend picking this one up. I did a few years ago when I did want one. I actually picked up a kind of like a fake one, I guess, not real. It's by the brand Skin Physics, I think it is. It's kind of worn off on the back. This one, you can, well, I bought it at Priceline, but I don't think they sell it there anymore. It comes with 3 brush heads, the delicate, which I used back then, but I haven't got any more. The normal one, which is on here now, and then the body brush. The delicate one is the only one I would recommend using. However, you can't actually buy them in single packs. You can only buy them in a pack of 3 with the delicate, normal, and body brush. Now this one, it does oscillate. Again, you can't really see it, but it's nowhere near as powerful. It just doesn't seem to actually do anything. I don't know. It just didn't do much for my skin, and I don't think it was worth the money. If you compare you can hear this one, it's a lot more powerful to that. It's like not powerful enough at all. It doesn't do anything. I don't even know if you're going to be able to hear that. They are very similar, but this one was just a massive pass for me. This one I just love. Also, the Smart Profile does have a little bit more of a thinner handle, which I know that sounds kind of stupid, but it's really easy to hold in your hand. The other ones, I have small hands. If you have small hands, the other one might be a little bit annoying to hold. But they do have a whole range of different ones that you can choose from, and this one was the one that I wanted the most, but there's so many choices out there for what ones you've got. I think there's the Mia 2, the Aria, what else is there? The Mia Fit. There's so many to choose from. But yeah, this is the one I chose. I definitely think this was worth the purchase, and I would highly, highly, highly recommend it. And I was so excited to film this video. I have been for such a long time, but I would highly recommend this, and if you haven't got one already, yeah, I would recommend this purchase. However, just keep in mind, it's not going to work for everyone. If you can afford it, I definitely would recommend it, and yeah, if you can afford it, I think it has done wonders for my skin, and I absolutely love this thing. I can't live without it now. Thank you so much for watching my video. If you haven't already, please subscribe to my channel and give this video a thumbs up, and let me know if there's any other videos that you would like to see, or if there's anything, yeah, you'd like to see me do, any products you'd like to see me review, you know, any tutorial kind of things that you'd like to see me do. Just let me know, and I will definitely try and get around to it. And thank you so much for watching, and I will see you next week. Bye!